Hello, and welcome to another edition of Potluck, your everything and anything talk and entertainment TV show. Today we have 4 special guests joining us who are, they're with an organization that has been around for 40 years. I guess that would be 1973. So with us we have volunteers Andy, oh, and Terry.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. And then, of course, we have a foster dog. Her name is Pacina. She's a lab. She's a lab shepherd mix. Mm-hmm. And then Butter. Hi, Butter. They're both fosters that are at the shelter out in Aldie, Virginia. Mm-hmm. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, how long? Let's before we talk about the shelter. Let's talk about a little bit about each of you, like how you both got involved in this organization, how you found out about it. So let's start with you.
Okay, well, I've been volunteering for about a year.
Okay.
I started out as a dog walker.
Okay.
I have 2 cats at home, so this was my way to get my dog fix. And started taking dogs to events, and then eventually began working in the office to help with adoptions.
Okay. So how many hours out of are you like a full-time volunteer or are you a part-time volunteer?
Well, we're all part-time volunteers,
okay.
And Butter is fine without you. But yeah, I work pretty much all day Sunday and some Saturdays at the shelter.
Okay. And how about you?
About a year and a half, and I found out about FOHA when I was looking to adopt.
Okay.
So I adopted a cat, and then they were looking for fosters. Okay. So I agreed to open my home to a couple of kittens, and started fostering. And so I am, I guess, a full-time volunteer in that I pretty much have kittens and cats in my home all the time.
All the time. Okay.
So. But I don't actually go out to the shelter very often. Oh, poor baby boy. So I do more on the fostering and the adoption events off-site.
Okay. So which of you can tell me a little bit about the history of Friends of Homeless Animals?
I can give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, both of us.
Yeah. We've been around for 40 years. Mm-hmm. It's on 40 acres out in Aldie, Virginia. And do you remember the lady's name who started it?
Unfortunately, I can't.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Anyway, we'll just have to get people to go to the website, which is FOHA.org. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Butter really does not want to see.
It's okay.
But we get most of our dogs and cats from other shelters.
Okay.
And it's just been a fabulous opportunity to get the word out there about our organization and making sure that people don't just think of dogs and cats as disposable.
Right. Now, there are a lot of, organizations that will foster taking kitty cats, but it's a struggle for a lot of them, and I'm sure it's a struggle for you guys as well. How do you guys stay afloat? I mean, if you're on this big property, is there some founder or
Well, we're not for profit, so we rely on a lot of volunteers, donations, but we also have the Treasure Hound, which is resale and everything that is donated to the store. All the proceeds go to FOHA.
Okay.
So, and it's a store out in Chantilly.
Okay.
So, so that's where a good bit of our funding comes from. Oh my goodness. But a lot of it is purely donations.
Right.
So, and finding sponsorships. Chris Cooley out in the Chris Cooley Foundation and Art Studio in Leesburg has done a large number of events and stuff for us.
Okay.
So they're a pretty big sponsor for FOHA.
We recently had Barktoberfest.
Barktoberfest.
Yes.
Oh, that's very creative.
At the end of September. We have it every year, the last Saturday in September, and that is a huge fundraising event for us.
Wow.
It's our signature event, really.
Okay. And what type of things do they do? I mean, what makes the event? What's there?
It's kind of a fun fair, and then we have the Mutt Strut.
Oh, wow.
There's a music festival. There are vendors who come out. lots of dog and cat related vendors who come out.
Right, right.
And games for kids, games for dogs.
Okay.
Silent
Great.
auctions. Big. It's a pretty big day.
Oh, wow.
Some dogs are out there to meet people. Some cats are out there to meet people as well.
Right, right. So this is out in which county?
Loudon.
It's in Loudon County.
Yeah, it's the Loudon County Fairgrounds.
Okay, and Aldi is out in Loudon County?
County.
Okay, got it. Oh, great. So let's get back to like the volunteering aspect of this, because it sounds like, I mean, with a lot of the organizations, you know, what's your normal process of getting volunteers? How do you get the word out? I mean, this is a great way to get the word out right now.
Here.
If people will go to the website, FOHA.org, there is a button there to click on for volunteering.
Okay.
And it can be anything from dog walking to cat snuggling to working on the trails.
Okay.
Because like I said, we're on 40 acres and we have a lot of walking trails to take the dogs out on. So if anybody wants to do trail upkeep, we take donations of pet store cards, Home Depot gift cards, those kinds of things. But like we've had a lot of Girl Scout and Boy Scout troops come out and do work on the trails.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's
so
great.
anybody who has a group that needs volunteer hours, and I know middle schools and high schools have a lot of community service time and community service projects that they do. So anybody who wants to volunteer can just go to the website and click on that volunteer button, and it will take them from there.
Great, that's fantastic. And you don't have to be, like, I mean, this would be good for somebody who maybe loves animals, or, you know, somebody who hasn't been exposed to them, but they could go out there and get a feel for what it's like to take care of an animal.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they provide all the training, you know, and start them off with the small dogs on the dog walking rather than the big pullers. And
there are orientation classes.
Yes, there are orientation classes a couple of times a month.
Right, right.
So to learn the ropes.
That's great. Now, do you like screen the people that do end up adopting?
Yep, we do the full process, yeah.
Because I know, like, some, you know, some screeners or some organizations are really, really, really strict. Like,
we do a phone interview for the cats. We do a phone interview. We actually will contact the listed vet about other animals that you know they list that they've had. In some cases, not very often for cats, we'll do a home inspection.
Okay.
But I know they do that for the dogs very regularly, not so much for the cats.
For all the dogs.
Okay.
And basically, it's just to make sure that you live where you say you live. You don't have 12 dogs hiding in the basement or anything like that.
Right.
Because Pacina was actually rescued from a hoarding situation, so we want to make sure that that doesn't happen to anybody. We do a vet check.
Okay.
Just to make sure that if you have animals or have had animals, that your vet says that you keep good care of them and that kind of thing.
But that's good. That's good. Now, for the animals that are with you, do you have are there vets in the area that volunteer to, like, help out?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because that can be costly to do.
We work with Caring Hands, who I think they've got 5 or 6 different clinics in the area, all the way from Alexandria out to Ashburn, and they work with all the animals, and the vets will actually go to the FOHA site on the weekends and assist with the standard checkups and everything like that.
Right. And I'm sure you probably get some, like, technicians and other people as well to help out.
They usually have a tech that comes with the vet.
Okay.
And then dogs.
Some of your volunteers are ex-vet techs.
Oh, okay, there you go. That comes in handy. That comes in very handy. So, aw. So let's talk about Pacina, she's a beautiful dog, and she's how old?
She's very sweet. Pacina's 6.
Okay.
She's been with us for 3 years.
Wow.
She was rescued from a hoarding situation. Like I said.
Right.
We had 2 of her other housemates are still with us as well. She's a little bit of a shy girl, and she gets along well with cats, although I don't think Butter would agree with
Butter's not taking a liking.
And she's just such a sweetheart. She is very shy, so she would be better if she were in a house that had another dog that was her size or smaller.
Right.
Because she does get more confidence from another dog.
Okay.
Might even be helpful if she were to have somebody who maybe worked out of their house.
Okay, so she have somebody around her more often. Yeah,
especially until she gets acclimated to where she's going to be living. But we would love to find her a home, as well as the 100 other dogs that we have at the shelter.
So for somebody out there that maybe that really wants a dog and maybe has the time, but they're not really sure like what it involves to like take care of him or her, can you describe like, I mean, it's very, I mean, I grew up with dogs and cats, so I know, but there are people that they don't know, and I know you guys have the training, but just, you know, give an overall view of what they would just have to do.
Well, dogs typically need to go for walks at least twice a day. Younger ones and more energetic ones probably need to go 3 or 4 times a day. You have to make sure that they're fed twice a day and they have water available to them, and then that they're really part of the family. What we don't want to see is a dog left in the backyard by themselves all the time. They really do need that socialization, just like people. And this one is sitting on my foot right now, so she wants to be near. Yeah, she wants to be touching whoever she's with. And that's what it's all about, is making them a part of your family.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. Like I have cats, and my cats are like my kids. So I know a lot of animal people. They, you know. And it's also really good for people, like health-wise, too, to have animals. Yes. You know, I mean, it's comforting, and they kind of calm you down after a hard day or whatever.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
So let's talk about Butter, who's a little fussy today.
He's
You're
a little
fussy
boy. Butter we're not entirely certain how old Butter is. He was found by a FOHA volunteer in an abandoned house. And he obviously had a little bit of life history. He had a broken leg that set itself, and so he has a little hitch to his walk, and his tail kinks to the side because same thing, it broke at one point. But he doesn't really look like it, but he's actually an extremely friendly cat. He's actually very, very, stop.
I know.
Hold on, he's okay.
I know.
Stop. He's actually pretty, this is extremely stressful, but he's doing really, really well. He's very, very friendly. He gets along with other cats. The cattery at FOHA is communal, so the cats are all loose. And they get along pretty well together. He has no problems with dogs. Pachina put her nose in his face, and he just said hi. Mostly he's annoyed because right now he would like to go wandering around the studio. But he's been with us for almost a year at least. So he's an awesome cat. He really, really is.
Okay, and what would be the ideal like home scenario for him, based on his personality?
His personality, he loves people. He's actually very people oriented. He would do well with someone who wants, you know, he would do well in a home either with other cats or even on his own. He'd do fine with dogs as well. He's really, really, you know, basically, if you want a cat that you want to love, whether you have other cats, dogs, or by yourself, he would be kind of the cat for you. He does have hyperthyroidism. He gets a pill twice a day. And basically you wrap it up in a treat and he eats it. I mean, it's not at all a stress at all for him.
And that's a common symptom, or I guess cats like usually about 10 years old or so
it's
tend
a
to get
symptom
that.
of an older cat. I mean, you know, he's probably in his double digits, I'm sure. So hyperthyroidism is actually very, very common in cats. But it's very easily maintained.
And he looks great for considering, because usually hyperthyroidism, they get really skinny, you know, and that's usually like a telltale sign that there could be a problem.
They start eating a lot and then not gaining weight.
Exactly. So.
Oh, baby. You gonna calm down now?
His sweetie pie. So, you know, speaking of ailments and stuff, so you guys take in like special needs dogs and cats as well. So, you know, let's talk about that. Are there any like specific dogs or cats that come to mind that really like came in really bad shape and now are doing just like fantastic?
Well, we have a number of dogs with a variety of ailments. Like some of our dogs will come in heartworm positive. They go through treatment, and typically they are just fine after that treatment. We have a couple of dogs who have heart disease, so they are on medication for that. Kind of like Butter, we have one of our shepherds who, before she came to us, had a broken leg that was never set properly, so she has kind of a bend to her leg, but she's physically just fine. And, you know, some of our dogs are on medication for life for a variety of things, but that's they're certainly better off than they would have been in a different shelter, in a different setting, or out as a stray.
Right.
Cat-wise, we actually do bring in and adopt out FIV positive cats.
Okay.
And we don't consider it to be a death sentence.
No,
it is a lifetime disease. It is incurable.
Yep.
But you know, basically, there's, you know, more often than not, the cats have, you know, they're asymptomatic. They have no symptoms. So we have an entire cattery just full of FIV positive cats.
Okay, and they're separated from the other kitties.
They are separated.
Okay, and do you guys, I have a friend who fosters cats, and she has had FIV cats where she's giving, there's like a herb remedy or whatever that she gives to them to help like with their immune system.
There's been a lot of studies into like herbal remedies, like Bach remedies and things like that. And ultimately, you know, it's, you know, I've personally seen some really, really good results on cats, dogs, and horses with like acupuncture, and
natural
massage.
therapy.
So natural, you know, I think in conjunction with regular vet work, it's definitely something to look into.
Oh, very cool.
For cats with, you know, FIV and other things. I'm currently fostering a bottle cat. He was an orphan kitten.
Oh.
So we take in a lot of those in the spring and in the fall because that's the big kitten boom.
Okay.
And so you'll find kittens on the side of the road, and you have to bottle feed them and take care of them that way. And he was, we actually lost his 2 litter mates, but the one that is remaining is doing really, really well, and he's going to be up for adoption probably within the month.
Oh, wow. So do you put pictures of every single cat and dog that's on the website?
Yes.
Okay, and you know, it's easy for people, when somebody comes to adopt, do they give a donation to you guys? Okay.
There is a fee.
Okay.
We consider it a tax deduction.
Right.
You know, tax deductible.
It's tax deductible for them, and it like helps you out and helps whoever like.
And helps defray the cost of keeping the animal during its time with FOHA.
Okay, great, fantastic. So have you guys, before working for this organization, have you worked for any other organizations?
I have not. This is my
This is your first?
Yeah, and I absolutely love it.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's my first experience with a no-kill shelter, first of all, and just the amazing people that I have met through this process and have a true mission and passion for what we do.
That's great. And speaking of no-kill, there's a lot of, you know, kill shelters, you know, in the area. I know, like, I live in Prince William County, and they're trying to become no-kill.
It's very,
they're
very difficult,
working really hard.
County shelters.
Yeah, really hard. So their goal is to go by like 2014, which I hope they do. But I know it's like super, super, super hard. And I mean, it's great that you guys do that, because, you know, for being at a shelter for 3 years, you know, I have a friend who found a dog, and she, you know, thought the right thing to do was to call the county, and less than 2 weeks they put the dog down. Yeah. And the dog had a collar. Somebody owned that dog. So, you know, it just, you know, you just never know. You just never know.
There are all of our dogs come microchipped.
Okay.
So should they get away or get out or something, and someone finds them, if they take them to a shelter or to a vet's office, they can be scanned and find out who they belong to.
Right.
So that's one thing that we do. All of our dogs and cats are spayed or neutered and microchipped before they go home.
Now, where does the chip go? Like in their ear?
No.
Or on their back? Oh, it's in the back there.
It's right about here.
Okay.
Right under the skin.
And it doesn't bother them at all? And
it's about the size of a grain of rice.
Okay. Oh, wow. It's really...
And it's actually just injected with a syringe.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Under the skin.
So that's pretty easy.
They don't even know it.
Wow, that's I know, and all vets can easily scan if they
Same with shelters.
Same shelters.
They all can scan them.
Okay.
So.
Now, your organization gets mostly the dogs and cats from other shelters, which is good.
Typically, yeah.
Yeah. Or did you guys go to them and say, hey, we'll take your dogs and cats that you're about to put down?
Well, there's a
that work?
two-way communication, really, between the shelters and our intake coordinators. I know, and they both happen to be named Sue.
Yes.
There's one Sue does intake for cats, and there's another Sue who does intake for dogs. But they keep in close contact with some of the neighboring shelters, and especially if one of the kill shelters gets a dog in that they feel is highly adoptable, they'll contact us.
Oh, okay, okay.
And we have over 100 dogs at the shelter currently, and then we have another 40 or so in foster. So if we don't have room at the shelter, we try to find at least short-term foster houses.
Okay, great.
Same with cats. We've got a couple less cats.
I think we've got 80 in the entire, over 80 in the entire system, both in the catteries and out in the foster. And then I know that the shelters will find same thing. You know, they'll call FOHA. Do you have space available for, you know, whatever cats and everything that they happen to have?
Oh wow! So with the you know, back to the event stuff, do you have any events coming up for December or January, February? Next year.
Well, we do adoption events on a regular basis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just about every weekend.
Okay. And where do you hold it at your place at FOHA?
No,
or do you go?
at local, a lot of the local pet stores, or various other places. We've done them at banks. We did one at Coldwell Banker down in Leesburg. But Pet Supplies Plus in Chantilly is one that we use on a regular basis.
Today we have 2 events going on at Caring Hands locations, one in Ashburn and one in Centerville.
Okay. Caring Hands is a
veterinary
that's the veterinary hospital that we work with.
Oh, great.
So, but yeah, I think we do cat events at least twice. We try and do them at least twice a month, and that's when we bring cats from the cattery. Butter tends to go, and then the fosters try and bring their kittens in.
Okay.
So as well.
Wow. Now, does anybody ever? I have a friend who works at a vet, and she says that sometimes people they dump their, you know, if they find cats or dogs, they just dump them there. Do people bring animals to you guys?
We have had some dogs who've come in as what we call owner surrender. We had one dog, very sad story, a few months ago, was left at the end of our driveway, the FOHA driveway, in a cage.
Oh gosh.
And he was very, very ill, and we kept him in quarantine for a few months until he was able to be out among the other dogs. And he is a success story, though, because he was just adopted 2 weekends ago.
Oh, great!
Yay! By one of our volunteers.
So he was. I was thinking, you know, if it's a sad story, it was going to have a sad ending. But that's great. That's great. I'm sure you guys see a lot of like happy endings, and you know, some probably sad too.
More happy than sad.
Much more happy than sad. Yes.
Yeah, but the sad does exist, and that's a good reason to bring people in to, or you know, help
to
volunteer and get more active with. You know,
and we always need more volunteers, especially going into the winter, because you know, as it gets colder, people don't want to come out, but yet the dogs only get out for walks on the weekends.
Oh my goodness!
So we really need.
Do they have like I mean, you're on how many acres of land? Do they
40 acres.
Is there like a dog park area where they could just go and run and just?
We do have 2 play yards,
Okay.
and on Thursdays we have a group of volunteers who come in and do dog socialization.
Okay.
So they'll socialize some of the younger dogs or ones that might be more shy. Pacina goes out to her socialization every Thursday. So she's learning how to be a dog.
I know.
Hi, Butter.
I know.
But we have 2 play yards, and so we try to get the dogs into the play yards on the weekends.
Okay.
Now, when I say they only get out on the weekends, they get out of their runs into a larger run every day.
Okay.
So the caretakers can clean their runs and so forth.
Right.
But to really get out on a walk and spend time with people, it's really just on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay. So we're coming to an end of our show here, but I'm going to ask both of you, or each of you, what has been the most rewarding experience of being a part of this organization?
Just seeing dogs go home.
Okay, and for you?
Seeing the cats, go home. Yeah, I mean, I've had, I don't even know how many cats at this point in time, and because they foster in my house, the owners come, put them in their brand new crates, and take them home, and it's just so exciting.
Oh, and we cry like babies.
Oh, we do.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I recently had my neighbor came over and she was like, "Oh, there's a cat living in my backyard."
But
oh no, I do. I do.
Yeah, my neighbor came over and said there's a cat living in my backyard, and I was like, "Oh really?" I thought it was somebody that owned the cat, and so I ended up taking in a friend of mine who works at a vet. She took him, and he's now being taken care of, and hopefully will be adopted.
Right.
But I mean, he was the sweetest kitty, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so tempted just to adopt it for myself," but I've already got 3.
It happens, unfortunately.
yeah. So, but oh my gosh, great temperament, just very snuggable. So.
Hey, Butter.
It's okay, Butter. Time to say goodbye to everybody. It's time to end the show.
He's like, okay.
I know. But you've been such a sweetie pie. So, anyway, to find out more information about Friends of Homeless Animals, go to FOHA.org. Right?
Yep.
And you can find out information about like the volunteering. You click on the button for volunteering. There's no specific times to go out there. You just go out there when you can, like on the weekends.
Right.
Right. Is there certain like hours?
12 to 5.
12 to 5.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. Oh, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Oh, that's great. That's great. So that, and for anybody that is interested to volunteer, or somebody that's curious, this would be a great opportunity. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Again, FOHA.org. And if you're just tuning in now and just have missed this whole segment of these, visiting with these 2 wonderful doggies, this dog and cat, you can go to www.potluck-online.org. We'll be on next week, and make sure that you catch us next time. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.